Well, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to Integrative Preparedness. Today I have a question for you. Is America over? I just put one up on the Patreon channel, a Rumble video by Tucker Carlson. And he was talking about the invasion of America by illegals. That's not new to most of us who have been paying attention, and I've talked about it many times. We are being invaded. The numbers are unlike anything that we've seen before, and I think it is getting close to the point to where it might be irreversible. We will see. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year. This is a political season, and all sorts of things can happen for various reasons. That's really not the topic of this today. But it was a very, Tucker, and as he always does, made a good argument. And my question for you is, instead of me coming on and telling you what I think and all, which I usually do, is my question is, what do you think? Is America over? Is America as we've known it? And he makes this statement. I'm going to be talking about this more over on the American Reversion channel later, but is America as we know it, as we have known it, as we grew up in, is it over? Does that mean that the United States of America is over? And what does that mean for you? What do you think that means? What is the future that you foresee for you, your children, your grandchildren? What kind of an America or post-America do you think you're going to be living in? And then, as important as that, what are you doing to prepare for that? In the past, I've talked about living under oppression, and I started that several years ago, and I talked about the situation in Northern Ireland and other places. And a lot of people, and I talked about how organized crime, developed the ability to live well under oppression, and keeping separate from the system in many ways while remaining within the system in many ways. And a lot of people got mad at that. But I saw what was coming. And we can talk all we want to about running off to the woods, and people getting their bug out bags, and that's not going to work, guys. And separating yourself from the system, that is not going to work long term. Okay, that can work short term. That is not going to work long term. And so that was the reason that I talked about, and mainly on the Patreon channel, about developing the ability to live under oppression. And I know, some people got mad. I'm not going to live under oppression. This is America. I'm going to stand up. And I applaud your spirit, but my experience in human nature and things like that tells me that for the most part that's not going to happen. You might be the one who does it, but most people aren't. And so that's the question for today. Do you think America is over, and what are you doing to prepare for what you think may be coming? And go ahead and leave your comments as long as you want to. Please explain. If this isn't really this isn't voting. This is, I don't want to see how many, it's over, it's not over, it's over. I mean, if you want to put that, it's fine. But this is more discussion. This is more of a discussion. And I know that if you're not with us on Patreon, by the way, we'd invite you over there. The link is down below. The discussions over there are going to be much deeper and more complete. And if you're one of those on YouTube that gives good, deep, thoughtful answers, we'd love to have you with us on Patreon if you're not, because it really is a different type of place over there where people do get into very deep, very good discussions, and it helps people. Even if you're not one of those, even if you're a beginner, you want some real in-depth opinions from some other people who give this a lot of thought, you'll do well to come over there. But give me your opinion. And before I let you go, I will remind you that this, like all my videos, are brought to you by the Stonemont series, my books, and they are all now available on Audible. I've had people ask me that for years. The paperback and Kindle have been available for years through Amazon. You can get the paperbacks from me through our website, stonemont.us, but now they're available on Audible, both through Amazon and whatever the Audible thing is. So if you want the plan, if you want a real plan on how to prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a complete collapse of everything, or if you just like a good post-apocalyptic story. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to be able to avoid learning if you read this. You'll be caught up in the story. It's 6 novels: The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. Yes, I'm working on the 7th one. You'll be caught up in the story, but you'll be learning while you enjoy the story. And I suggest everybody, if you haven't read them and you're serious about preparedness and really establishing a quality future for yourself, your children, your grandchildren, and all that, regardless of what happens, this is your next step. So tell me what you think. Is America over? What do you think that means? What does that look like to you? And what are you doing to prepare for it? You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.